I picked up the phone at 3 a.m., expecting a wrong number. However, someone whispered my name back to me. It wasn't a friend. It wasn't even human. Welcome to Friday 13, where every nightmare is real. And this one's mine. I'm James, and this happened to me in 2022. I've got the call logs to prove it. Stay with me, because what I heard on those calls, it's still out there. It started on a Thursday night, October 6th, 2022. I was 26, living alone in a cramped apartment in Chicago. The phone rang at 3 a.m. sharp. I fumbled for it, groggy. Hello? Nothing. Just slow, heavy breathing. My chest tightened. Who is this? I snapped. More breathing. I hung up, pulse hammering. Just a prank, right? But then it rang again. Unknown caller. I answered, and this time, I heard it. James, my name, whispered, like a secret. I dropped the phone. How did they know me? The calls didn't stop. Every night, 3 a.m., like a ritual. Always the same. Breathing, then my name. I blocked numbers, but they kept coming, always unknown. I stopped sleeping. My eyes burned, my nerves frayed. I told myself it was nothing, but I couldn't shake the dread curling in my gut. By week 2, the calls bled into the day. I'd be eating, working, anything, and it'd ring. Unknown caller. I answered once, shouting, "Leave me alone," breathing. Then, James. I started noticing things. My keys on the counter when I'd left them by the door. A window cracked open. I swore I'd locked. Was someone inside? I called the cops on October 20th. They laughed it off. Kid's missing with you. But that night, I got a text. I'm closer than you think. My stomach twisted. Closer? To what? I wasn't imagining it. The air felt wrong. Thick, heavy. I'd hear footsteps when I was alone. Faint, but real. Have you ever felt someone watching you, even with no one there? That's where I was, trapped, waiting for the next call, praying it wouldn't come. October 28th, 3 a.m., 3 a.m. Tired 28th, 3 a.m. The call came again. I answered, voice cracking. What do you want? Silence. Then, a laugh, sharp and cold. My laugh. I want you, James, it said, in my voice, my exact pitch, my tone. I stumbled back, phone slipping. This isn't real, I whispered. But it kept talking. I'm you, James. I ran to the door. It wouldn't budge. The lock was stuck. The whispers, they were everywhere now, bouncing off the walls. You can't leave. I barricaded myself in the bathroom, heart pounding so loud I couldn't think. The phone, it rang again. No signal, no power, just ringing. I answered, shaking. My voice laughed back. I'm already here. I smashed the phone against the sink. Glass shattered, blood dripped from my hand, but the ringing didn't stop. I had to know what this was. I dug through old records at the library. That's when I saw it. Dozens of disappearances in Chicago, all tied to calls like mine. Victims heard their own voices, then vanished. I found one survivor, a guy named Carl, 73 years old. He met me on November 1st, eyes hollow. It's not a person, he rasped. It's something else. It wants your skin, your life. My throat went dry. Was it after my identity? My soul. The calls stopped after that. But 2 days later, a package arrived. No sender. Inside, a mirror. I looked, and my reflection grinned, slow and wide. I wasn't smiling. I smashed it. Glass cutting deeper this time. I moved out that week, but sometimes, late at night, I hear it. A faint ring, my name on the wind. This was real. 2022, Chicago. I've got the logs, the scars. Believe me or not, it's still out there. That's my story, true as the fear I still carry. If you've ever heard something unexplainable on the phone, or anywhere, drop it in the comments. I'll read every single one. And if this got under your skin, hit that like button, subscribe, and share your own true horror story below. We'll feature the scariest ones in our next video. Maybe yours. This is Friday 13, signing off. But keep your phone close. You never know who's calling. I was 10 when I found my uncle's journal hidden in the attic. Though the words inside weren't his. They were written in my handwriting, dated 20 years from now. And that's when the whispers started calling my name. Welcome to Friday 13, where every story is real. And this one's mine, where every story is real. And this one's mine. I'm James, and this isn't fiction. This happened to me in 2029, and I've got the photos to prove it. Stick around, because what I found out about my family, it's still watching me. It was a rainy afternoon in 2019. I was 10, poking around the attic for something to do. That's when I found it, a leather journal stashed under a loose floorboard. I thought it belonged to my uncle. Everyone said he'd been strange before he died, but when I opened it, the handwriting was mine. My exact loops and slants, and the dates, 2039, 2040. Years I hadn't lived yet. My chest tightened. I flipped the pages, and one line made my breath catch. They're coming for you, James. Run. My hands trembled. Who wrote this? And why did it feel so real? I tried to laugh it off. Maybe my cousins were pranking me. But that night, I heard footsteps pacing above my room. My parents were asleep. I held my breath, listening. The steps stopped. Then, a whisper. James. To whisper. James. Clear as day. I hid under the covers, heart racing, telling myself it was nothing. But it wasn't nothing. I couldn't let it go. The journal. The whispers. It was like the house was alive, pulling me in. I started asking about Uncle David. My mom brushed me off, but my grandma, she'd get this haunted look. One night, I pushed her. What happened to him? She went pale. He was troubled, she muttered. Leave it alone. I didn't. Did he die in the attic? Her eyes snapped to mine. How do you know that? My stomach dropped. No one had ever told me. So, how did I know? I dug deeper. Old articles, police files. Uncle David didn't just die. He was murdered. Stabbed in the attic. November 13th, 1999. The killer was never caught. The case went cold. But that journal, it was like he, or something, was reaching out. Have you ever felt the past creeping up on you, refusing to stay buried? That's where I was, stuck, with nowhere to run. Then, the nightmares came. Every night, the same scene. I'm in the attic, but it's not me. It's Uncle David, pacing, muttering, "They're coming. They're coming." Then, a scream, and I'd wake up, soaked in sweat. But it wasn't just dreams. Footsteps echoed in the hall. Whispers hissed in the dark. James, it's time. I'd turn on the light, nothing. Just silence and shadows. I was losing it. I had to know. I went back to the attic, my pulse hammering. The air was icy, thick, with a sour, rotting smell. I shouted, "Who are you?" My voice bounced back, unanswered. Then I saw it, a hidden panel in the wall. I pried it open. And there it was. A knife, old and rusted. My fingers shook as I held it. Was this what killed him? And why did it feel like it was waiting for me? Why did it feel like it was waiting for me? I couldn't move. The figure. It was Uncle David, hollow-eyed, staring right through me. He whispered, "You're next. You're next." My heart stopped. Next for what? He pointed at the journal. I looked down. The pages were shifting. Dates rewriting themselves. Tomorrow, next week, next month. My future in my own handwriting. I dropped the knife, backing away. "What do you want?" I yelled. He smiled, cold, lifeless. "To warn you," he said. "They're coming." Then he was gone. The air settled, but the journal didn't. That was a year ago. I've left that house, but the journal follows me. The dates keep moving forward, always one step ahead. This happened, 2019, real as the fear. I still feel. I've got the photos if you don't believe me. So, next time you hear a whisper in the night, ask yourself, is it trying to tell you something? That's my story, true and terrifying. If you've ever felt haunted by your family's past, drop it in the comments. I'll read every one. And if this got under your skin, hit that like button, subscribe, and share your own true horror story below. We'll feature the creepiest ones in our next video. Yours could be next. I was cleaning the basement when I noticed a loose brick. I pulled it out, and behind it was a door. A door that wasn't on any blueprint. What waited inside wasn't just a room. It was a nightmare. Welcome to Friday 13, where every story is real, and this one's mine. I'm Daniel, and this happened to me in 2019. I've got the photos to prove it. Stay with me, because what I found in that room, it's still down there, waiting. It was a crisp October morning in 2019. I was 30, freshly moved into an old Victorian house in Salem, Oregon. I bought it cheap. Too cheap, maybe. The realtor called it a fixer-upper with character. But there was something else. The air always felt heavy, like the house was holding its breath. I brushed it off. New place, new nerves. But the basement, it was the worst. Musty, damp, the kind of place you don't linger in. I'd been putting off cleaning it for weeks, but that day, I finally rolled up my sleeves. I wish I hadn't. I was sweeping, kicking up dust, when I noticed it. A brick in the far wall, slightly out of place. It was subtle, but it caught my eye. I tapped it, loose. My heart gave a little jolt. Curiosity got the better of me. I tugged at it, and it came free with a scrape. Behind it, a small, rusted handle. A door. The house plans I'd seen didn't show any rooms down here. I pulled harder. The wall creaked, groaned, and swung open like a secret unraveling. The air that rushed out was cold, bitterly cold, like stepping into a freezer. I should have stopped right there, but I didn't. I grabbed a flashlight, my hands already trembling. The passage was tight, the walls slick with moisture that seeped through my fingertips. The beam of light shook as I moved forward. At the end, another door, wooden, splintered, like it hadn't been touched in decades. I pushed it open, and the smell hit me. Rot, sharp and sour, like something had died in there. The room was small, maybe 10 by 10, with a dirt floor and crumbling stone walls. My flashlight swept across the space, catching cobwebs, a rusted chair, and in the corner, a pile of old photographs. I knelt down, the dirt cold under my knees. The top photo, it was me as a kid, standing in front of this very house. I was maybe 5, grinning with a toy truck in my hand. My breath caught. I'd never been here as a kid. I'd grown up across the state, in Portland. How was this possible? I flipped to the next photo. Me at 10, playing in a yard I didn't recognize. Then me at 15, at a party I'd never been to. In every single one, I was smiling. But in the background, a shadow loomed. Tall, thin, its face blurred, but its presence unmistakable. My hands shook so hard, I dropped the stack. Who had taken these? And why were they here? I tried to rationalize it. Maybe they were fakes. Someone's sick prank. But the photos were old, yellowed, the edges curling with age. They weren't new. I kept flipping, and with each one, the shadow in the background, it was closer. In the last photo, it was right behind me, its blurred hand on my shoulder. I could almost feel the weight of it now, pressing down. My stomach churned. Then I heard it, a soft scrape, like nails dragging across stone. I froze. The sound was coming from the walls. I spun around, flashlight shaking. The door, it was closing, inch by inch, on its own. I lunged for it, slamming my shoulder against the wood, but it wouldn't budge. The lock clicked. I was trapped. Panic clawed at me. I pounded on the door, shouting, "Let me out." But the house, it swallowed my voice. The scraping grew louder, circling me now, like something was moving in the walls. My chest tightened. I wasn't alone. I had to find a way out. I scanned the room, desperate. That's when I saw it. A small alcove, hidden behind a crumbling section of the wall, covered in scratches. Symbols, jagged and deep, like someone had clawed them in a frenzy. My flashlight caught something in the center. A mirror, old and cracked. Its surface smudged with something dark. I looked into it, and my reflection, it smiled. I wasn't smiling. My blood ran cold. "This isn't real," I whispered. But it was. My reflection's eyes, they were hollow, black, staring right through me. I stumbled back, heart pounding. The scraping, it was louder now, closer, like it was right behind the wall. I grabbed the mirror, yanked it off. It shattered on the floor, and with it, a hidden compartment opened in the alcove. Inside, a journal. Yellowed, brittle, dated 1999. I flipped it open, hands trembling. The entries were frantic. The ritual is complete. It will guard the house forever. My throat tightened. Guard what? I turned the page. It feeds on fear. Close quote. It takes the form of those who enter. My stomach dropped. Was that what I saw in the mirror? Something pretending to be me? The humming started then. Low, deep, vibrating through the walls. My flashlight flickered. I backed into a corner, clutching the journal like a lifeline. "What do you want?" I shouted. The humming stopped. Silence. Then, a whisper, right in my ear. "Daniel." I spun around. Nothing, but the air. It was heavier now, like something was standing inches away. I could feel its breath, cold and sharp, on my neck. My hands shook so hard, I dropped the flashlight. It rolled, the beam landing on the dirt floor. And there, in the light, a shadow, tall and thin, stretching across the room. It wasn't mine. I froze. The shadow moved, slow-paced. I froze. The shadow moved, slow, deliberate, inching closer. My reflection, it was in the broken glass now, scattered on the floor, smiling up at me. I grabbed a shard, ignoring the blood as it cut into my palm. I had to get out. I turned back to the door, slamming the pipe against it again. Wood splintered. I hit harder, Desperate, the shadow, it was right behind me now. Its hum deafening. The door gave with a crack. I stumbled out, gasping, and sealed the passage with every brick I could find. But the whispers, they followed me up the stairs. Faint, but real. I'm still here. I couldn't leave it alone. I had to know what I'd found, what it was. I went to the library, dug through old records, anything about the house. That's when I found it. An article from 1999. A cult had lived here, practicing dark rituals to summon a guardian for the house. They'd trapped it in the basement, sealed it with fear. The journal, it was theirs. The photos, part of their ritual, capturing the essence of anyone who'd live here. I kept digging. Another article, 1923, a family disappeared after reporting whispers in the basement. 1957, a man went mad, claiming his reflection was wrong. My throat tightened. This thing, it had been here for over a century, feeding on fear, taking forms, and now it had mine. I called a historian friend, told him everything. He came over, pale as a ghost. "You need to leave," he said. "It's not just a spirit, it's a mimic. It'll take your place if you stay." I didn't need to hear more. I packed up that night, left the house behind. But the photos, I couldn't leave them. I burned them, every last one. The air felt lighter after that, but the whispers, they didn't stop. That was a year ago. I've moved to a new city, started over. But sometimes, late at night, I hear it. Faint scratching, like nails on stone, coming from below. I've checked. There's no basement here. I've seen a therapist, tried to move on. But the fear, it's always there. I keep a mirror by my bed now, just to check. Sometimes, my reflection, it's not right. This was real. 2019, Salem, Oregon. I've got the photos of the journal, the burns on my hands from the glass. Believe me or not, it's still down there, in that house, waiting for someone new to move in. That's my story, true as the fear I still carry. If you've ever found something unexplainable in your home, drop it in the comments. I'll read every one. And if this got under your skin, hit that like button, subscribe, and share your own true horror story below. We'll feature the scariest ones in our next video, and yours might be next. This is Friday 13, signing off. But remember, the shadows are always watching.